It seems like your mission is always to kind of bring people together.
It is.
You know,
It is.
Where does that come from? Why do that?
I guess because I want everybody to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a light answer. But what I think it is because of the way I was trained, and I think that you can accomplish so much more. You can accomplish so much more if you get everybody working together. And besides, you know, you have to expect with everybody having a different DNA that everybody isn't going to be happy all the time, and everybody's going to like you, and you just. I was asked to be mayor one time. Would I run for mayor? And my answer was not a polite one. I laughed, and then I felt embarrassed afterwards. But I just thought I could never be mayor. I could never be. I'd be too sensitive about people and trying to get people together. And so I thought, no, I'll run a university, but I don't think I could do that. I've never wanted to get involved in politics. I really haven't. The other time I laughed, which was very rude, and it really was rude to do what I did, but it's that sense of humor of mine because I'm not laughing at anybody else, I'm really laughing at myself. And the other time was when Hans Tanzer was mayor, and he called me and asked me to be on the board of the JEA. And I was the one that left all the lights on in the house all the time. Harry'd be going around following me, turning off the lights. And he asked me, would I be the first woman to do this? And I just laughed at him. And then I realized that was really rude because it was nice that he was asking me. But then I told him, I said, Hans, I think, you can't believe this, but Harry Kinne has been after me ever since we were married because I couldn't turn off lights. I never turned off lights. I do not think I should be. And then I said, but I really can't add another thing to my schedule. That was really the reason. But
Our current mayor is a former student of yours.
Yes, he actually, I didn't have him in a class, but he was going to leave.
Who?
He was going to leave school. Yes, because
he didn't.
He didn't have the funds. So he came into me one day and said, "I have to leave." And I said, "You can't leave." He said, "I have to leave. I don't have the money." And they were going to send him. Winn-Dixie was going to send him down to Miami. And he said, I don't have the funds. I said, you absolutely cannot leave. I'd gotten to know, you know, he's one of the students I'd gotten to know. So I said, you let me handle this. Well, I knew we didn't have any more scholarship money. My scholarship money was all gone. So I called 3 of my friends and got them to help. So he stayed.
Did you see in him leadership?
Yeah, I did. As a matter of fact, I did, and I said, you know, we disagree on politics probably. I said, I'm a fiscal conservative. So, but he did call me. He kept calling me. When he called me actually before, when Clinton asked him on Clinton's first tour, then he called me and said that, Al called me and said that he has asked me to go out on the road and go to these different places. He said, I know you're not this politics, but he said, how do you think? I said, you have to do this. You've got to support yourself, and you're going to have a family. You need to do this. So he would always call me, but that's what most of them do. You know, if they have another job and there are people I've counseled or helped, I'll hear from them. In fact, when John Delaney became president, he had not been in higher education, and he called me and asked me would I come down and spend a day with him and talk to him, which I did. I went down. He was still mayor. It was his last week, and I went down and took a bunch of took books and things, and I said, you can't in a week get this, but I said, just keep your door open. If you keep your door open, you're not going to run into problems. And communicate. And then in the paper, about a week or so later, it was about a month after he'd been president, there was a headline that said that he keeps his door open, which really tickled me.
And you've worked with a lot of mayors.
Everyone, every single one since Hans Tanzer.
Is there any commonality in the leadership of a mayor?
Yes, I think there is. I think in each one has cared about the city. And I think each one has done something good for the city. I really do. I think that there has been something that we can say was constructive. And that's why I'd like to see them all, the ones that are living, all get together. But one of the funniest things with Jake Godbold, because I've really gotten to know each one pretty well, and Jake had loved to talk, and but nobody could talk longer than they were going to have 20 people speak. I think it was 20 at my inauguration, and everyone had 2 minutes. Each one had 2 minutes, and so everybody was worried about everybody else speaking too long. So I know that he had his speech was 2 minutes, and it was on a piece of paper like this. And so we're going through the ceremony, and everything's going beautifully. And then Jake gets up, and his piece of paper is on the lectern, and the wind's blowing. And the wind blew, and off goes his paper. And you hear the audience going, oh. Yeah. And so, bless his heart, he just turned around, and he looked at me, and he said, ah, Fran, I just love you. And you should have heard the applause.
And that was the length of the speech?
Yeah.
That was probably the
was
shortest
it.
speech that he ever gave?
Yeah, and that was it. But it was so precious. I mean, it was so cute the way he did it. It just was precious.
That's